Hello, my friends. Welcome to Astrologia in English. My name is Jorge Roque. I'm a Hellenistic astrologer. And after 2 years working on 2 channels in Spanish, discussing weekly horoscopes and also mundane astrology or analyzing political events, political candidates, presidents, governments in those 2 Spanish channels, now I'm releasing this new channel in English where I'm going to be bringing both concepts and a little bit more into this new channel, Astro Guide or Astrogia in English. Astrogia translates to Astro Guide. We're going to talk about the current situation in the United States and in the world. To start, I want to give you a brief introduction or a brief review of what is going on with the United States and the possibility of war. If you notice today, actually October 13th, Trump just signed and he made a big deal of a wonderful and so desired and expected peace treaty in the Middle East. And he said in the press conference that he had confidence that it's going to stand, that it will hold on, that peace treaty finally will bring a stop to the wars and the terrorism in that area of the world. But I have news for you. Astrologically, that is not correct. If I look the astrology of the United States, I know, and that's one of the reasons why I left, I know the world is going to war very soon, and the United States will be in a big war. Whether the United States wants it or not, the fact is that a cycle that repeats 84 years is now present at the moment, about to be activated at any time. Let me show you what I'm trying to say on the graph. Right here, you're going to see the natal chart of the United States of America, this one right here. And the date of foundation is July 4th, 1776 at 5:10 p.m. in Pennsylvania. This wheel outside here, it will be the secondary progressions chart. And this one right here on the outside, it will be the current transits. The reason why I'm saying that the world, especially the United States, is going to an armed conflict of some sort with another superpower is because, first of all, we have the return of Uranus to the 7th house of the United States. Uranus takes 84 years to go around the zodiac and return to the point, the natal point where United States was born. United States has Gemini or Uranus in Gemini together with Mars. And now with this return that happened every 84 years, we can predict that eventually, pretty much at any time in 2026, a major conflict in the world will be something that United States will be very active and very involved into. It will be a leader, definitely, very into this conflict. And not only that, let me remind you how many times this actually happens. The first time it happens, obviously, was in 1776 when the United States was declared independence. The second time was actually in 1861. 1861, correct, when the Civil War between the South and the North. And the third time was around 1940s, 1944, 1945, when the United States was attacked on Pearl Harbor and led United States to get involved in the Second World War. Well, guess what? 84 years after, Uranus returns back into the 7th house. The other thing that we have in common, especially with the Civil War, is that we have hard aspects between Neptune from Aries and Saturn. If I look for the date when the Civil War began, and let me go for that event specifically so you can actually see what was going on. Let me find right here the Civil War. There you go. Perfect. So if we go to the Civil War, we're going to see that first, Saturn was in Pisces doing an opposition by sign with Neptune, right? Now, in the next few months, if we move ahead, Saturn ingressed into Aries, where it made also another hot aspect. In that case, first an opposition by a few grades, and later and in conjunction with Saturn. If we return to today's date, we're going to see that hot aspect is actually a little bit worse in my understanding, because now Saturn is not doing an opposition where it actually brings or provokes that we look for a balance, that the energy of both planets will look for a balance. But in this case, we're going to have a hard aspect as a conjunction. where the strength of Uranus, the energy of Neptune, will come together with Saturn in Aries. And that is going to be happening for the next 2.5 years, at least all 2026. Later, it will continue with Saturn moving on into Taurus, bringing problems and difficulties with the economy and restrictions in the food supply and the economy of the United States of America. But Neptune will continue in Aries. And when that happens, we know that the world becomes a little bit more fanatic and obsessive with certain ideas, because Neptune, the planet of ideologies, the planet of visions and imagination, is in the aggressive, impulsive sign of Aries, ruled by Mars. But now, by that time, we're also going to have the ingress of Uranus into Gemini, continuing to meet not only the natal grade of Uranus in the United States chart, but also it will continue progressively getting closer to the planet of war, Mars. And for the next 6-7 years, it will be definitely a hard time for the United States, as it happened in the past. This is something that is so obvious to any astrologer, and that's the reason, one of the main reasons, if not the first one, which made me look for an alternative to move away from the United States, planning, obviously using astrocartography as well, which place will be the best one for me and my family away from the conflict the United States is going to be involved. So this is the reality that we're going through, the United States is going through. Now, the question again is, will the Middle East peace last? I don't think so, for several reasons. Not only because of the configuration that I just showed you, but also there is one important event. In the chart of the United States, we had on September 21st, we have a solar eclipse right here on the 29th degree of Virgo. The first planet that is going to cross, or that already crossed that degree, the 29th degree of Virgo, and activated the meaning, the karma, the strength, the energy of the eclipse is Venus, which now we have over Libra. And that is actually doing a conjunction with the midheaven of the United States, which explains the peace treaty, which explains the boost that the United States is having just at this moment with this news, like a big accomplishment. Regardless of who will be the president, this event, it was going to happen. It was meant to happen because of the natal chart of the United States. But remember, Venus was the first planet to activate the 29th degree of the eclipse, and is continuing to move into Libra, which for United States is the house of relationship with the big masses, but it's also the ascendant house, or the first house for Israel. And eventually it will meet through a conjunction with the conjunction of Saturn and the progressed Mars of the United States. And that will happen in the next couple of weeks, or actually by the end of October or beginning of November, followed by a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, which means that by that time, we're going to see very, very strong news regarding peace, regarding situation with the government of the United States, and also with Israel, because it's going to be affecting the ascendant of the first house of the state of Israel. So what could happen at the moment? Well, just don't forget that Venus is not only the planet of pleasure and beauty and success and good luck, it's also a planet that is very associated with justice. And that justice could be a disruption of the public opinion against the United States, but also some sort of issues related to the image and the current situation of the government of Israel. Maybe the consequences of the excesses that they did over their fight against terrorism. We will see. And actually, I would love to go into details in another video regarding that, but also another thing that I want to do in the next few weeks, I want to compare. I did it already in the Spanish channel, but I want to do it over here. I see the United States falling as a superpower in the world. The time for the United States to be great again is already past, astrologically. This is not a political statement. This is an astrological analysis. But there is another superpower that is on the rise, and in the next 10, 15 years, is going to be the new superpower in the whole world, and that would be China. I already studied those two events, and I want to prepare a beautiful video, detailed video, where I can actually go over the astrology of the United States progressively losing control and power over the world, and also how at the same time the control, the present, the footprint of China is increasing progressively because of the natal chart configuration that is being activated right now with the transits that in a way is affecting the United States for the worse, but for them is becoming a great opportunity, a moment of coming out as the new superpower for the whole world. That will be in the next video. Now, this is my first video for this channel. And as you can see, honestly, I feel nervous. I'm kind of like, wow, I'm impressed that I finally made the choice, that decided to use my beautiful Antonio Banderas accent to talk to you about astrology. I was intimidated, to be honest with you, especially with everything else, everything that is going on in the United States. But I hope that you can enjoy my accent, my knowledge, and the beauty of this wonderful science. My goal is actually not only to share my knowledge, but also to make you fall in love with astrology, to make you learn astrology and apply it to your daily life, like I'm already doing with the two Spanish channels. So I hope that you liked it. I want to hear your comments, and I hope that you can support me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Share the channel with your friends. Let them know that a new channel is coming up about astrology. I know there are many out there, but I have a spice that I know you're going to love in the long run. Give me the opportunity. Let them know that this channel exists, and let me work through the time and gain your trust. And I hope that you will be a hardcore fanatic, like I have another 60 or 90,000 actually following me in the other two channels of astrology. One last thing, I want to invite you that if you want to do a personal consultation about astrocartography, or just a natal chart reading, or just a forecast for the whole next year with solar return and transits, annual perfections, if you want to do a comprehensive reading, you can go to our website, which is astroguy or astroguia.me, astroguia.me. And you can make an appointment. Of course, it will be in English. It will be in person via Zoom, via video conference with me. And we can have a whole discussion about your natal chart and what is being forecast for you for the next 12 months. That way you can be intentional as well and prepare yourself for what is coming. I hope you like it. I'm sure you will. I'm confident that you will. Thank you for your like. Thank you for sharing the video, and see you in the next one.